Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you. I'm Vice Mayor Janet Miller, and I'm filling in for our illustrious mayor this morning, who's in Topeka representing us on the League of Kansas Municipalities governing body. So he's doing our business there for us. We have a couple of items to share with you today. One is from our Wichita Fire Department, who's been working on a project, and also a representative from Wichita Eisenhower Airport who'd like to share some good news about things that are happening at the airport. So I'll introduce them here separately in just a moment. First up, I'm going to introduce Fire Marshal Crisp to speak to you about an initiative they've been working on. But for just a moment, I wanted to step off script and say that we lost a member of the Wichita Fire Department's family yesterday. Firefighter Collis Grisby passed away suddenly yesterday, and we want to extend our sincere condolences to not only firefighter Collis's first family of origin, to his son and his parents and family, but also to his second family, which I know is the Wichita Fire Department. To lose a member is extraordinarily hard, and we're certainly very, very sorry for that loss. Fire Marshal Crisp and his team have been working on a public service announcement for the community regarding clear and legible address markings on private residences. Some of you may remember we had quite a conversation about house numbers on residences last fall. And since that time, the public has given us some suggestions on developing communication messages about the importance of that. And so Fire Marshal Crisp is here to say a few words about that. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Miller. Just a few words that we'd like to say before we show you our PSA. The Wichita Fire Department, along with our emergency service partners, Wichita Police Department, Sedgwick County EMS, 911, Sedgwick County Fire District 1, would like to remind residents of Wichita and Sedgwick County who live in single and multifamily dwellings that they need to have visible address numbers, and those address numbers need to be visible from the street. The importance of having visible address numbers is to expedite emergency services response so that we can easily find your location, or if somebody else is experiencing an emergency, they know where they're at and they're able to relay that information to dispatchers so that we can be sent to the right location. Your numbers should be at least 3 inches high and should contrast in color with the background or the color of your home. And we've got an example of what a good contrast would look like up here and what a poor contrast would look like. So the numbers need to be a different color than the color of your home. Exterior lighting can also help. It can help us at 2 o'clock in the morning to see addresses. It can help a passerby see your address when they're driving by at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it also helps with the security of your home in the evening and nighttime hours. Members of the Wichita and Sedgwick County Fire Departments can also assist you if you cannot afford numbers for your home and you own your home and you're the primary resident. We have a program in place where we can come out and help you get those numbers and even help you install them. We would encourage you to visit our websites, and that would be wichita.gov and click on the Fire Department link, or sedgwickcounty.org and click on Sedgwick County Fire Department's link for more information. With that being said, I'm going to show you a quick PSA we've developed in partnership with one another, and then we'll be happy to field any questions.
14 and 15, start for an unknown call for EMS. Second and Doris. Caller is not from the area, unsure of the exact location, could not see the numbers on the house. She thought she saw a man stumbling through the yard, possibly bleeding. EMS and fire also en route.
399 en route. 399, I'm not seeing anything. Can you repeat the address?
I made contact with the calling party on this. She was not able to see the house numbers from the street. She advised she thought it might be on 2nd Street, no further.
Have you guys had any luck?
No, we've been up and down the block, but we can't find the address.
We've kind of been up and down as well. I haven't seen anybody out.
We'll make sure to have this YouTube link available to all of you in the event that you would like to use it. Are there any questions that we could answer for you? All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Fire Marshal and firefighters and police department representatives. We appreciate you being here this morning. Public safety really is our #1 priority in the community. And for those of you who think maybe this is a rarity, it's not a rarity. There are so many times, even I'm out trying to find a house that's been reported to me as having difficulty or a problem, and I can't find the address, and I'm just so surprised that that happens. So this is going to be a great message for the public, and we're really appreciative of the sponsors and the additional help that we're going to have to put up numbers on people's homes if they need assistance. Next, I'd like to share with you a couple of pieces of information about the airport, which Valerie Wise will be sharing with you in just a moment. But two good things. Average fares paid at Wichita Eisenhower National Airport dropped 6% during the third quarter of last year compared to the quarter before. And regionally, Wichita's average airfare is still less than Oklahoma City and Tulsa and more in line with the U.S. average. So for those of you who are new to the community, that's not always been the case in Wichita. So we are very happy to report that. And our low fares have contributed to our third piece of good news this morning, which is that Eisenhower Airport set its second busiest year on record in 2016. So I'd like to introduce to you Valerie Wise, Air Service and Business Development Manager for the airport. Valerie?
Thank you. Good morning. I'll first start talking about our average fare report. The Bureau of Transportation Statistics recently released its third quarter 2016 airfare report. Now, these are a combination of average fares based on domestic itinerary, round trip, or one-way fares. And Wichita's average fare was $374.06 in the third quarter of 2016, compared to $399.80 in 2015, a decrease of 6%. The third quarter 2016 fare at Wichita is 35% less than it was in third quarter 2000, which at that time was $577.73. And this was before low-fare airlines entered the Wichita market. So what happened in 2016 to cause the 6% decrease? Have to believe that Southwest service to St. Louis and Phoenix had a lot to do with the decline. Those routes started in April of 2016. With 2 daily flights to the east through St. Louis, Southwest offers great connections to top markets to the east, such as New York LaGuardia, Newark, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington National and Baltimore, Atlanta, Orlando, and others. And Southwest 2 daily flights to the west through Vegas and Phoenix offers great connections to 2 top markets such as Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, Orange County, and others. Southwest Airlines brings much needed competition to our market. It is the main reason for the lower average fares. Our second piece of good news is our 2016 traffic. 2016 was the second busiest year on record in terms of passenger traffic, with 1,602,311 total passengers. This is an increase of about 2% over 2015. The busiest year occurred in 2008, when there were 1,619,075 total passengers. What makes the 2016 achievement more significant is that the capacity, which is the number of available seats, was down 15% last year compared to 2008, yet our traffic was down just 1% from that record year. I truly believe that if we had more capacity, we would have had a record year in 2016. During the year, June, September, and October set new monthly records in terms of passenger traffic. The growth is due in part to the addition of 3 new nonstop destinations, St. Louis, Phoenix, and Orlando Sanford, the low fares to more destinations, Plus, the convenience and the modern new terminal continues to draw passengers. As I mentioned, capacity continues to be an issue. Our flights have averaged 81% full in 2016. Our December traffic was down just a bit, down 1.5% from last December, but this is likely due to the fact that we had 5% fewer flights than last year, or I'm sorry, fewer seats than last year. But we're working on that. The addition of Alaska Airlines nonstop service to Seattle in April and United's return of the narrow-body aircraft to Chicago in April will help. Also, American Airlines has added an MD-80 on one of its 6 daily flights to Dallas and will increase frequency to 7 in April. And Allegiant Air will resume seasonal nonstop service to Orlando Sanford and Los Angeles in May. Our information can be found at flywichita.com in our news release section. Okay.
Thank you, Valerie. Our new airport continues to really be a beautiful welcome mat to our community. Next time you're out at the terminal, if you have not been up the escalator to see the exhibit that's up there about the history of flight in Wichita, our air capital of the world, we can really encourage you and other travelers to do that. You can find there everything from the birth of flight to modern aviation, something really don't want to miss. So. Thank you very much for coming this morning, and if there are questions, we can address those, or if you'd like to just privately visit with staff, we'll make that available after the conference.
Hey, Vice Mayor. This is a little bit off topic, but we'd first like to pass along our thanks to Mayor Longwell for speaking with us while he was in Washington, D.C. During the inauguration, so if you could pass that along for us. Secondly, I did a story yesterday on sanctioned cities. This is something that's now come down on the radar. The president signed an executive order saying that he was going to possibly pull funding. We know Sedgwick County is listed as one of those sanctioned cities. As council member, Vice Mayor, are you guys aware of this issue, and kind of what are you guys doing moving forward with this possibly losing federal funding?
Yes, that issue has actually been on our horizon for quite some time. As a District 6 City Council representative, it's one that I'm pretty familiar with given the large immigrant population in our district, but we also have a number of immigrants across the city, so who we all feel are important members of our community, and we welcome them here, and we're glad to have people of all diverse backgrounds in our city. The sanctuary city designation, which you mentioned, is a political term. There is no such legal term on the books that describes any particular community as that. So that's the first thing I would point out. The other thing is we know that there may be changes coming down the pike, and we are paying attention to those. And we will respond accordingly, when we know there's something specific to respond to. But the most important thing that we want to convey to people who live and work in Wichita is that our first priority, as you heard this morning, is public safety. And so our Wichita Police Department and other law enforcement officials in the city and the county are really focused on law enforcement from a law and order and public safety, preventing crime, solving crime standpoint. We are not interested in making issues of immigration or documentation our first priority. So we want people to continue to be comfortable calling law enforcement, both at the city of Wichita and in the county. That's the most important message. But certainly we'll be paying attention to what changes might be officially coming to us. At this point, it's mostly just headlines that we're reading.
Good morning, Vice Mayor. I have a question.
Sure.
The state of California recently banned state-funded travel because they feel like a law passed in Topeka discriminates against the LGBT community. How will this affect, colleges that are wanting to play here, or Kansas schools that are wanting to play California schools?
Sure. That's another piece of news we've been paying attention to, and it's been kind of circulating around for a while, and it finally made the mainstream media in the past couple of days. So we're paying attention to that. The probably the biggest activity that in Wichita's future coming up that we're wondering about and how that's going to impact it would be the 2018 NCAA basketball tournament. which we're a site for, coming up in the spring of 2018. So at this particular point in time, what we understand is that NCAA schools are not going to prohibit their athletes from participating if they were assigned to a tournament site here in Wichita. Now, it's a long way out, and we don't have anything official to that effect yet, but we're hopeful that that's the case. And beyond being hopeful, we have our Visit Wichita CEO who's very aware of this. She's one of the ones that's coordinating this activity. Our Sports Commission Executive Director is also very aware of the issue, as well as, of course, the mayor being aware of it. And if we need to work on this issue at a state level, I think there's no question that we would do that in order to preserve the opportunity to be an NCAA site. There's just no risk of us losing the site, but to make sure that athletes have the opportunity to come to Kansas.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for coming today, and Fire Marshal Crisp is still here, as well as Valerie Wise, and so please avail yourselves of them if you'd like to visit. Thank you so much.